Welcome back to Death Toll Racing. We are continuing on installing our L83 into the Pontiac. So right now we're going to jump right back into where we left off. We just cut the cross member out, and now we're going to make some plates to fill in the gaps. All right, guys, I just took a I just did something that I realized is kind of a cool shop hack because it's stuff you already have in your shop. So what I'm doing is I need to do a paper template of this part right here because I need to fill this in, and so I'm going to do it like old, kindergarten engraving style. But instead of using crayons, we're going to use what you already have out in your shop, and so it's a soapstone. I'm sure most fabricators have it, and a Sharpie. So just color your soapstone with a Sharpie. Just decent. You only need to do the end. It's good enough. And then I'll actually pan it up this time. I just did it and I forgot to pan it up. Just hold your part on however you want it, and just make your template. I need the inside line, so I'm going to focus mostly on the inside line, but I'll hit the outside line too, just so I have both. Works really good. And you don't have to have a box of crayons out in your shop. I'm trying to make sure I get my inside line because that's what I'm mostly focused on. So there you go. Super good trick. It's a lot easier than trying to, like on that one, you'd be all over the place trying to draw that with a Sharpie. So we're just doing it engraving style. So I have my car level, even though apparently my camera was not very level. The car is level, and I'm making sure I put those plates on level so that everything looks symmetrical when we look at it after we're done. So I got them all welded on, and I cleaned them up and ground them so they're pretty smooth and stuff, so they won't look too terrible after we paint them. I had a brilliant idea, and this is what we're going to try to do. I'm going to try to put these ears on directly to the pads we just welded on. And then I'm going to, because I believe it's going to be wide enough just by kind of eyeballing that car, we're not going to have to trim these very much if they'll even reach. I'm not sure if they'll even reach. It's going to be real close. But I'm going to end up drilling these and actually putting the cross member onto the same ears. Which will be really cool because then we won't have to support the motor if we ever have to take the cross member out. We'll just be able to pull the cross member out underneath the motor. So that's my plan. Hopefully it'll work. It may not, just elevation wise. There's a number of reasons why it will work, but that's what I'm going to shoot for. I really hope that's going to work because that is going to be super duper cool. So the ears will mount, weld to there, and then the cross member will bolt in behind on the outside of the motor and just swoop right into the motor. It'll probably have to come forward, backward, or whatever. Okay, so now that we have the motor up, so I got off the phone with Rockland Gear and I got the length of the TR6060 and stuff, and it's definitely going to be longer than the Turbo 350 with that adapter and stuff that we have on it now. A little bit. It's actually really close. The differences are all going to be in the Atlas, but when we go to put that thing in there, it's pretty much guaranteed that I'm going to have to move the motor forward a little bit. It won't be, I don't think it's going to be very much. It's really hard to tell with the Atlas on that thing. So what I'm going to do is move the motor mount all the way forward, so that way when we get that motor, when we get that mount, we can push the motor forward on those slots. So I want to get the mount as far forward as I can, so which means that we're going to have to trim it so that it can clear here, so that the bolt will be all the way back here. And then when we go to reposition it, we'll have to get another mount just so it has that tab back. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and trim this off so that we can get this thing all the way forward. It'll be slightly over our cover there for the vacuum pump. So that's the plan. I'm gonna loosen it, push it, and then we'll see how much we got to trim off. What I did there, you just see I just put a turnbuckle on the chain. I needed to twist the motor a little bit, and since I don't have a leveling chain, I have to get creative sometimes. So I just put a turnbuckle on it, bolted it on, and then just tighten the turnbuckle up, and it pulls that side of the motor up a little bit. So that's how I did it. You get creative when you're doing stuff by yourself like this. Here it is, so you can kind of take a peek at it. So the transmission's bolted onto our mount, so we got plenty of space everywhere, that just like it was before. It's actually easier to get to now. This engine's a little bit smaller than I think than that Pontiac engine was. So far our steering fits. I think that vacuum pump even would have fit down there with our steering box. I thought for sure that'd be in the way, but I don't think it is. I believe the engine has to go down a little bit yet. And it definitely has to rotate. It's centered, but it needs to rotate this valve cover up. But I'm not sure. We'll get a level on it. Our brake booster and all that stuff fits, no problem. It's easy to get to the bolts in the back. Obviously, we're not going to need that voltage regulator anymore. But yeah, super cool. Super cool. So we got rid of the one thing that's in the way. So now we're going to lift it up and see what else is going to interfere. Okay, so here it is in the car. So far, so good. I don't see any problems yet. In fact, everything just is fitting up so nicely. The only issue we have is our motor mount is as far forward as it can go, and it's still hanging off the back of our old crossmember, which is funny because that's where the Pontiac one was too. If you remember, there was tabs sticking off the back. So that's okay though. So this plate will go there. We have to trim it. And then the other plate's gonna have to go back here. And then, so we'll have to build something there for it to go to. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that exactly yet, but I'm gonna get working on it. is, it's all welded. These big bolts with the blocks that were in there, those are for the cross member to weld to, and then that's the big giant bolt. It's a 3/4 inch diameter bolt that is tying those together. Plenty strong, no bushings or anything. It's tying the frame together rigidly, going across. Problem, this oil pan is too deep right here. So I did end up ordering the conversion pan, which is much shorter through here, and then it comes back to roughly the same size as this is, but it's all one piece and it's a lot smoother. So I did have to order that, so we're gonna have to wait on building the cross member until we get that pan, because it will hit. So 2.5 inches down is where our bump stops fully compressed are, but the upper control arm mounts are basically 4 inches above the pads, so that's an 1.5 inch interference in our pan there. Or they'd actually be next to the pan, but the truss itself would hit the pan, and that they're welded to. So it just wouldn't. It's just not going to work. So I ordered the conversion pan. It's on its way, and then we will build the cross member for it once that gets here. So let's go up top, and we will touch up the welds up top, and we'll see what we have to do to make our truss fit up top. What I was doing with this bolt, if you saw, I just found a bolt that fit in there, and then I would just back the nut off. So I was holding this at the head and then backing the nut off and using it as a spreader, and that way as those welds cool, it's preloaded basically the outside, so hopefully we can still get our blocks in pretty easily there. So it should be pretty good. So our removable oil pans, our removable cross members are already going to pay off, because we already have to change pan on this motor, and now I don't have to pull it out to do it. We can just do it right there. That'll actually be really easy. So yeah, so let's get up top and take a look. All right, so there it is in there. I mean, this thing just fits like a glove. I love it. It fits so nice. I got it so centered. It's perfectly level. So I'm really happy with the way it installed. I didn't have to cheat it one way or another to clear anything. So we got to install it exactly how it should be installed. I did cheat the front of it up a little ways for extra clearance on that oil pan, just so we don't have interference with the axle. We obviously need that oil pan. That's coming, but we should have plenty of space there. There is no way of getting our tower brace to go over this manifold like it was on the other one. That motor is pretty tall, as you can see. It's up there. It'll fit under the hood, but it's not gonna. There won't be room, I don't think, for the tower brace above it. Plus, when we change the intake manifold later to a performance one, I don't think it would fit on that either. So we'd have to rebuild it. So I have a feeling we're gonna end up having to come in front of the motor with that thing. And that's okay, but we're going to do that at a later time. So you'll see me again on Saturday. We are going to go through this car in very good detail on what we're going to do with it, how we're going to proceed forward, everything I wish I would have done different. There's already things now that I wish I would have done different, and then everything I'm concerned about for the shakedown run. Because there are some concerns. I do have some concerns on drivability and stuff for the shakedown run. So anyway, stay tuned for that. That'll be on Saturday. And then next week, weather permitting, we're going to be doing the motor swap on the Ford tow truck, the manual conversion on the tow truck, and Phytech on the tow truck. So those will start next week. I should get the project done next week, and I'll get the videos out as fast as I can edit them, but they take quite a bit of time, each video. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on Saturday. Say goodbye, Bob.